We made it once again!
On May 25th, 2026, inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, the American Music Awards handed out their biggest prize of the night. Artist of the Year. Taylor Swift was nominated. Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, Sabrina Carpenter, Harry Styles, Bad Bunny, and 7 guys from South Korea, who were literally in the military 2 years ago, walked up to that stage and beat all of them. But here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. This wasn't a surprise, this was a guarantee. And if you want to understand why, you have to go back to 2022, to the moment the entire Western music industry decided BTS was finished. In June 2022, Jin, the oldest member of BTS, reported for mandatory military service in South Korea. He wasn't the last. One by one, across the following months, all 7 members went. RM, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V Jungkook. For context, South Korean law requires nearly every able-bodied man to serve. No exceptions, not even for the most famous musical act on the planet. And the Western music industry watched this happen and made a very specific bet. They bet that a fan base cannot survive 4 years of silence. They bet that streaming algorithms would bury old content, that new artists would eat the audience, that by the time BTS came back, if they came back, the cultural moment would have passed. Billboard ran the think pieces. Spotify analysts talked about K-pop saturation. New groups were being groomed to fill the space. Every single one of those bets was wrong. And the industry lost, not because they misread the music, they misread the people. I want to stop here and say something clearly, because this part gets glossed over every time someone covers BTS. ARMY, the name for BTS's fan base, is not a fan base in the way we normally use that word. It is an organized global infrastructure, built by millions of people, voluntarily, for free. While BTS was in the military, ARMY ran coordinated streaming campaigns to keep their back catalog charting on Spotify. They tracked chart positions across 88 countries like a war room. They organized charity donations in each member's name on their birthdays, real money to real causes. They built translation networks so that content in Korean reached fans in Brazil and Nigeria and the Philippines within hours. They were preparing, not hoping. So when Diplo, Grammy-winning producer, not exactly someone known for hype, stood at a Super Bowl party in February 2026 and told TMZ that the BTS comeback album was, in his words, the biggest thing he'd ever worked on, ARMY didn't panic, they didn't celebrate, they activated. Because they'd been ready for 2 years. March 20th, 2026, the album drops. The title alone tells you everything about the strategy. Arirang is a 600-year-old Korean folk song. It's so embedded in Korean identity that it's been designated intangible cultural heritage. It's a song about separation and return. BTS named their comeback album after it. That's not a marketing decision. That's a statement. Week 1, 641,000 equivalent album units. Number 1 on the Billboard 200. It stayed there for 3 consecutive weeks, the first K-pop act to ever hold that position for 3 straight weeks. The lead single, Swim, hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, then the Billboard Global 200, where it stayed for 4 weeks straight. And Netflix, who had never done this for a K-pop act, streamed their comeback show live, 18.4 million simultaneous viewers. Diplo produced several tracks. The sound was something genuinely new. Korean folk textures underneath stadium-sized pop architecture. Songs that were lyrically about the military years, about silence, about what it cost to disappear and come back. Swim wasn't a party anthem. It was a song about surviving something, and it resonated everywhere. 82 shows, 34 cities, a world tour announced and sold out in hours. And in the summer, BTS is co-headlining the halftime show at the FIFA World Cup final, alongside Shakira and Madonna, a Korean group, co-headlining the biggest sporting event on the planet. Let that land for a second. The night before the AMAs, BTS played Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, part of their ongoing Arirang World Tour. The show opened with a pre-recorded performance of Hooligan, shot the night before in that same stadium. Fog, red lighting, Choreography that looked like it was motion captured and rendered by a machine, except it wasn't. It was 7 people who have been doing this together for 13 years. Later that night, RM stood at the microphone and said, "We made it once again. Our biggest thanks and gratitude, as always, goes to the armies all over the world. You have stood by us for the past 13 years. Artist of the Year, second time." BTS now joins Justin Bieber and One Direction as the only acts to win that category more than once. Except Bieber and One Direction didn't do it after a 4-year military hiatus. They didn't do it singing mostly in Korean. They didn't do it against that specific list of nominees. The category this year included Taylor Swift, who holds the all-time record for AMA wins by any single artist. She lost. And the industry, the same industry that wrote the obituaries in 2022, had absolutely nothing to say. Here's what I actually think happened. The Western music industry has spent 20 years building a system optimized for short-term virality. One hit, one cycle, move on, it's a machine, and it works. Until it doesn't. BTS built something different. They built a relationship. 13 years of it. Documented, honest, deeply human. And when they disappeared, the relationship didn't break. It waited. That's not a fan base. That's a foundation. And what you saw on May 25th wasn't a comeback, it was a proof of concept. They still have the FIFA World Cup halftime show. They still have the rest of an 82-date world tour. They're not done. And the industry still hasn't figured out what to do about it. Subscribe, because this story isn't over.